Good morning Year 7 and welcome to today's maths lesson. Let's start off with today's starter. Can you write £66 as a fraction of £660? Can you simplify 24 over 9? Can you express 4 over 25 as a decimal? And can you find 6/5 of 25 for me? Please pause the video and have a go at these questions in your light blue books now. Right, let's go through the answers. For the first one, if I want to write 66 as a fraction of 660, I write 66 over 660, 66 out of 660. I can simplify this by dividing top and bottom by 66, and I get a tenth. So £66 is a tenth of £660. For the second one, I simplify by dividing top and bottom by the same number. In this case, if I divide top and bottom by 3, Adam, what do I get? 8 over 3, very wise. Can't divide top and bottom by a whole number, so that is my final answer. Expressing 4 over 25 as a decimal. To do this, I want to make my denominator 100. So Evie, what have I multiplied 25 by to get 100? 4, exactly. Whatever I do to the bottom, I need to do the same to the top. So that gives me 16/100ths, which I would write as 0.16. And finally, to find 6/5 of 25, the first thing I'm going to do is find 1/5, which is 25 divided by 5, which gives me 5. And Darcy, how can I find 6/5 if 1/5 is 5? Great, 6 times 5, which gives me 30. Let's head into today's lesson. Here's our lesson destination of today. We're going to be looking at quantities as fractions of another quantity. To start us off, one amount is a fraction of another. What does this mean? 7 out of 10. If I said you got 7 out of 10 in a test, that would mean there were 10 total possibilities you could have got. You've got 7 selected. So, for example, if it was in a test, you've got 7 of those 10 right. So I'd put the 7 on the top. The total number of possibilities, the 10 goes on the bottom. And we'd say 7 is 7/10 of 10. So if I wanted to write fractions of an amount of another quantity, that's what we're going to be covering today. So in your dark blue books, can you write the title one amount as a fraction of another? And when you've got that down, can I see pens down, eyes on me? I'll go through an example and then there's some for you to do. If I want to write £5 as a fraction of 20, I'm going to start by writing 5 out of 20. I can simplify that, can't I, Drew? What can I divide top and bottom by? 5, very wise. So I can simplify that to 1 out of 4. So I can say that £5 is a quarter of £20. For the second question, I've been asked to write 2.5 centimetres as a fraction of 10 centimetres. So this time I've got 2.5 out of 10. Do I like decimals in my fractions, Lucy? No, I don't. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the decimal by multiplying top and bottom by 10. Which is going to leave me with 25 out of 100. I can then simplify that by just dividing top and bottom by 25. If I divide top and bottom by 25, I'm left with 1 out of 4. So we can say that 2.5 is a quarter of 10 centimetres. Over to you, Year 7. In your dark blue books, please pause the video for a couple of minutes and have a go at these questions. Please do that now. Okay, and the answers I was looking for, you should have 20 out of 80, which is a quarter, and 3.5 out of 20. If you multiply top and bottom by 10, that gives you 35 out of 200. I can then divide top and bottom by 5 to give me 7 out of 40. I'm going to do a couple more examples and then there's some for you to do, so pens down, eyes on me. If I want to write 22 minutes as a fraction of an hour, Darcy, how many minutes are there in an hour? 60, great. So my 60 goes on the bottom. I've got 22 out of 60. I can simplify that by dividing top and bottom by 2, which leaves me with 11 out of 30. So we say that 22 minutes is 11/30ths of an hour. For the next question, I've been asked to write 25 millimetres as a fraction of a metre. Now here's my question to you, George. How many millimetres are there in a metre? Indeed, there are 1,000. 100 centimetres in a metre, 10 millimetres in a centimetre, 1,000 millimetres in a metre. If I divide top and bottom by 25, this leaves me with 1 out of what, Charlie? Exactly, 1 out of 40. So we can say that 25 millimetres is a 40th of a metre. Over to you, Year 7. Please pause the video for a couple of minutes and have a go at these two questions in your dark blue books. And these are the answers I was looking for. 55 out of 60, which is 11 out of 12. And 12 out of 1,000, which is 3 out of 250. Okay, Year 7, can you pause the video for 10 minutes and in your light blue books have a go at these exam questions for me? And these are the answers. Please check your work and see how you did. And if you're confident, please pause the video for another 5 to 10 minutes and have a go at these exam questions for me. And these are the answers. Please check your work and see how you did. Okay, so far we've looked at fractions that are less than 1. We were talking about 7 out of 10. Now I want us to look at what does 10 out of 7 mean? Well, 10 out of 7 means there are 7 total possibilities. And of those 7 total possibilities, we've selected 10 of them. So what can you tell me about my fraction, Abby? What do you reckon? You're right, that fraction is going to be over 1. It's going to be a top-heavy fraction. So my possibilities selected was 10, that goes on the top, and the total possibilities 7 goes on the bottom. So what we say is, oh, don't know what's going on there. We say 10 is 10/7 of 7. We say 10 is 10/7 of 7. Let's have a think about that. Your turn. Please pause the video and on your mini whiteboards or in your light blue books, can you write 12 as a fraction of 8 for me? And can you tell me, what does that mean? Can you write a sentence to tell me what that means? Pause the video for a minute or two and have a little think. Right, let's go through it. This means there are 8 total possibilities and we've selected 12 of them. So the 12 goes on the top, the 8 goes on the bottom. We can simplify that to 3/2. And we say that 12 is 3 halves of 8, or 3 over 2 of 8. We could also say 12 is 1.5 lots of 8. Okay, Year 7, back into your dark blue books. I'll go through a couple of examples and then there's some for you to do. So pens down, eyes on me for a couple of examples. I want to write 20 as a fraction of 6. So this time I'm saying I'm choosing 20 out of 6. It's a top-heavy fraction. I can simplify that to 10 over 3. So I can say that £20 is 10/3 of 6. For the next one, I'm looking at 10 out of 3.5. We don't like decimals in our fractions, so what do I need to do to the top and the bottom, Ben? Multiply by 10, very wise. Multiplying by 10 gives me 100 out of 35. I can simplify that by dividing top and bottom by 5, which gives me 20 out of 7. So we say that 10 centimetres is 20/7 of 3.5. Over to you, Year 7. In your dark blue books, have a go at these two examples for me. Pause the video for a couple of minutes and work those out now. And these are the answers I was looking for. Please check your work, see how you did. 20 out of 8 becomes 5 over 2, and 35 out of 15 becomes 7 over 3. Okay, Year 7, mini whiteboards for me, or light blue books. Write 24 as a fraction of 18 for me. Right, let's go through it. I've got 24 out of 18. I can simplify that to 12 out of 9. I can simplify that by dividing top and bottom by 3 to 4 over 3. How about now? Pause the video, have a little think. Light blue books or mini whiteboards? Let's go through it. I've got 24 out of 1.8. I'm going to start by multiplying top and bottom by 10, which will give me 240 out of 18. I can then simplify that by dividing top and bottom by 2. And if I divide top and bottom by 3, I'm left with 40 over 3. Okay, Year 7, how good are you? Mini whiteboards, write 2.4 as a fraction of 1.8 for me. Pause the video, work it out. Let's see how you got on. 2.4 out of 1.8. Multiply top and bottom by 10 gives me 24 out of 18. I can then simplify that by dividing top and bottom by 3, which will give me 8 over 6. Dividing top and bottom by 2 gives me 4 over 3. Well done if you noticed. That was exactly the same as the first question. All I did was divide 24 and 18 by 10 to give me 2.4 and 1.8. Okay, Year 7, back into your dark blue books. I'm going to do a couple of examples and then you're going to do some. My first example, I've been asked to write 1/2 as a fraction of 2/3. So I've been asked to write 1/2 out of 2/3. I'm going to write this as a half. This line across the middle means the same as divided by 2/3. I can now apply my keep the first fraction, flip the second fraction, change the sign to a multiply. 1 times 3 gives me 3 on the top, 2 times 2 gives me 4 on the bottom. Let's do another. How about if I've got 5 halves as a fraction of 2/3. Again, let's write it as a division. 5/2 divided by 2/3. Keep flip change. Keep the first fraction. Flip the second fraction. Change the sign. 5 times 3 gives me 15 on the top and 4 on the bottom. So we say that 5/2 is 15/4 of 2/3. Over to you, Year 7, in your dark blue books. In the same way, can you write 3/4 as a fraction of 9/10? And can you write 4/3 as a fraction of 9/10? Pause the video and have a go at these in your dark blue books now. Okay, and the answers I was looking for are 3/4 out of 9/10, which gives me 3/4 divided by 9/10. Keep flip change means I've got 3/4 times 10/9, which gives me 30/36, which I could simplify to 10/12, which I can simplify over here to 5/6. For the second one, I need to write 4/3 out of 9/10. Let's write it as a division. That's 4/3 divided by 9/10, which is 4/3 times 10/9, which gives me 40 out of 27. So the correct answer should have been 40 out of 27. Mini whiteboards, Year 7. Can you write 3/4 as a fraction of 4/5 for me? Pause the video, have a go at that now. Right, let's go through it. I've got 3/4 divided by 4/5. Keep flip change gives me 3/4 times 5/4. So we're looking at 15/16. We can say that 3/4 is 15/16 of 4/5. How good are you? How about now? Pause the video, have a little think. I'm going to convert this to an improper fraction. That's going to help me out. If you're still stuck, pause the video now and have a little think. Right, let's go through it. I've got 3/4 divided by 9/5. Keep flip change gives me 3/4 times 5/9, which gives me 15/36. Divide top and bottom by 3, I get 5/12. One more for you, Year 7. Please pause the video, start by converting to improper fractions. Have a go at this one for me. Right, let's go through it. 2 3/4 is the same as 11/4. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 3 is 11. Divided by 9/5. Keep flip change gives me 11/4 times 5/9, which should have given you 55/36. So we say that 2 3/4 is 55/36 of 1 4/5? Okay, Year 7, please switch to your light blue books, pause the video for 10 to 15 minutes and have a go at these questions for me. They get progressively harder, so start on 1 and work your way down. Don't worry if you don't finish them all. If you're confident though, see if you can get all the way through to 14. Pause the video for 15 minutes, have a go at these questions now please. And these are the answers I was looking for. Please check your work and see how you did. And here's an extension question for those of you that are confident. Pause the video for 5 minutes. See how many of these you can work out. Have a really good think. They're really puzzling. And these are the answers I was looking for. Please check your work and see how you did. And finally, this was our lesson destination of today. Please pause the video for a couple of minutes and have a go at this exam question now. And these are the answers. Please check your work and see how you did. That's the end of today's lesson. Please head on over to Google Classroom and submit today's exit ticket for me, Year 7. Have a wonderful day and thank you for listening. Goodbye.